Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are here with another episode, or short story I guess. I don't know how long these short stories actually go for, but I'm just gonna upload, I think they're like 10 minutes-ish each, so I don't know. I'll put them all as one episode. I mean, each as their own episode. And we're gonna read Toma's story, obviously, because I just clicked on it. Oh, Nita. I'm back, big brother! I heard a small voice coming from... I've lost all ability to read. I heard a small voice coming up from behind. When I stopped to turn around, I saw a little girl arriving at the park, having just returned from kindergarten. Welcome back, you're early. When I come early, I get to see you here, right? I tried my best. I patted her head in approval and she smiled happily. Where's Shin? Shin said he was going to bring us some sandbox toys. Then let's wait for him. Okay. Oh my god. I had actually planned on going to a friend's house after school, but her small face was so excited that I decided to call it off. Shin's like, Toma! I heard another little voice calling for me. Brought along by his mother, Shin was carefully carrying a large bucket towards us. You okay, Shin? I can hold it for you. Fine. When I tried to walk to him, Shin shook his head and trundled over. He was out of breath from such strenuous work. Shin, you're amazing. You tried really hard. I can do it by myself now. In the bucket were 3 shovels. He probably knew too if he came early that I'd be here, so he brought one for each of us. It was my turn to feel happy, so I patted Shin's head as well. It was still 3 o'clock. We'd be able to play a long time until the evening bell rang. Oh, his memory. That was how it used to be back in the day, I think. What? Shin was way too adorable. That can't be possible. Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine now. I couldn't help but grin at Mine's genuinely shocked expression. It was so surprising to her that she was still muttering amazed noises to herself. So you were called Big Brother back then? Yep, even though we weren't real siblings or anything, I was like the neighborhood older brother. So the girl who came today called you that too. As she said this, she turned to look towards the far end of the office. At that moment, the girl in question was interviewing with Mr. Waka for a part-time job at the cafe. Yep, I was called Big Brother by her too. She's a year ahead of me in school. She's a year ahead of me in school, right? And a year younger than me. Get along with her, alright? That might be hard. Why? She's not a bad person. Girls tend to hate me usually. Oh, it's fine. She's not the type to be bothered by such things. She usually gets along well with anyone. What? You didn't even deny that people don't like me. You're so mean, Toma. Even if other girls hate you, you should just keep doing the things you like. In fact, I think it's adorable that you're aware of it and still willing to do your own thing. It doesn't seem right to ask for anything more. What? After staring at me for a moment, Mine gives a disappointed sigh. That must be the reason why I'm not really that attracted to you. Like, you're hard to get a rise out of, and you're kinda strict. But you've got good looks and you're easy to talk to, so you're kind of both things. It's such a disappointment. Thanks? A ways away, the door opened and the 2 that were inside stepped out. She bowed politely and Mr. Waka nodded calmly. Looking up, she turned her head towards me and gave a cheerful smile. I caught the job! I felt both relief and surprise and turned my gaze to Mr. Waka. He also gave me a quiet nod. Toma, you seem to be blessed with a wonderful friend. Let us have her join our staff. It's so hard figuring out who's saying what. That's quite the quick decision. When I choose a person, I usually listen to my gut instincts. There hasn't been a time when that instinct was wrong. We'll have her start her shift next week. Conveniently, Monday's our next weekly meeting. I'll introduce her to the other staff then. Stepping past me, Mine walked up to her. After thoroughly looking her up and down, she smiled. I'm Mine. I'm a 12th grader, same as Shin. Looks like we'll be working together from now on. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too. Since you're my senior at this job, may I call you Miss Mine? Having been asked so seriously, Mine waved her hand vigorously in refusal. Huh? What? No, you don't have to. I'm younger than you, so just talk to me normally. In fact, be more casual, otherwise I'll be uncomfortable. Then I'll just call you Mine. Please feel free to tell me what to do, and I'll try my very best. Watching their conversation with neither being timid, I considered that they might get along well after all. She was already good friends with Sawa, so I hoped that even after I left this job, the three of them would do well together. On the way back from the interview, we meandered up the hill towards the setting sun. Congrats on the job. Thank you, Toma. Interviews are really nerve-wracking. As if finally relieved, she gave a small laugh. Waka, the manager, apparently is super strict. Even though he gets a lot of applicants, he doesn't hire many. I see. I'm glad that I was then. Well, I figured you would be fine. Are you trying to flatter me? Would there be any reason for me to? Maybe. Not at all. She fell a bit silent, as if she were somewhat put off. I thought she might have been pouting, but I couldn't think of a reason why she would need to pout. This had been happening a lot lately. I used to be able to tell exactly what she was thinking, but as we grew out of childhood, it became harder and harder to read her thoughts. She probably didn't want things to stay as they were, but it made me feel slightly lonely. Now that I think of it, when was it you guys started calling me by my name? What do you mean? I was thinking you stopped calling me Big Brother. I guess that was just until elementary school. Once we started, I stopped calling you that. Oh, is that when? The time I was treated as an older brother by her and Shin seemed now to be very short. But the impact of childhood is terrifyingly intense, and even now I was caught up in its friendly spell. But still, you as a waitress, huh? Why did you decide to come to our cafe? I spoke aloud as though I had been wondering about it for a while. I spoke aloud a thought I had been wondering about for a while. It had come as a surprise to me when she asked me to show her where I worked. I had the impression that she wasn't the type to do customer service even if we were to share the same job. Because you're there, Toma. Is it that you feel safer because I'm there? Well, I can understand that, but everyone was nervous at their first job. It would be reassuring to have a friend there. Shin worked once in a while at the cafe for the same reason. But you have to stand on your own. You'll be in trouble later if you keep on relying on me. Though if she became completely independent, I'd end up lonelier than I cared to admit. When I said to her these words that I didn't even really mean, she fell into silence. I'd probably stepped on a mine. I had upset her. She was pretty stubborn, and once she started sulking, it lasted. I had to avoid that happening at all costs, I thought to myself in a panic despite the lack of change in my expression. That's right, do you have some free time now? Let's celebrate. Huh? I thought she would ignore me, but instead she looked up puzzled. It was my chance to keep pushing. Let's buy some cake and go to your house. It'll be my treat. I could even buy you 2 or 3 slices if you want. Her facial expression swam with indecision. She couldn't decide between being angry or having cake. Sorry, I don't know what I did to upset you, but it's my fault completely. I'd like it if you forgave me. I'm not sure it's good that you don't know why I'm angry. Me too, but it's better to apologize than to not, right? You're always like that, Toma. Oh well. She sighed the words heavily, but she had sounded as she'd given up. If she'd given up meant that she had already forgiven me. I felt relieved and pushed my heart down out of my throat. I may be a pushover when it comes to her, but she's even more of a pushover when it comes to me. It would be awkward for me to be in your house. We can stop by a cafe somewhere. Is there a cafe you'd like to go to? No, it's alright. Come over to my place, Toma. Come over to my place. I'd be happy if she meant it in a different way, but I quickly the thought that had popped into my mind. If I thought these things, if I showed her I thought those things, I probably wouldn't be able to be with her like this anymore. At the very least, she wouldn't be asking me over so lightly, so I tried my hardest to crush those feelings as they came up. I don't like that it looks as if I was won over by food, but 2 slices of a cake would be nice. The convenience store is fine, but if we go there, I'd like you to buy tea as well. The way her tone had a light sweetness around it was very dear to me. My voice is dying, Toma, because I've read all 4 of your stories in one go. Can I come in? Yes, please do. I stepped forward into her not quite familiar room. This was the 3rd time I had come here, the first time being when I helped her move. The second was when she called for me to help her with the circuit breaker in her room. I realized this is the first time I was invited over just to hang out. Have you gotten used to living alone? Somewhat. Oh, and thank you for helping me back then. It was unclear if she was referring to the circuit breaker incident, but she bowed her head towards me. You don't have to thank me for that. It was a good learning experience. Yeah. She sighed as she stood up straight. I can't really get out of the habit of relying on you, can I? I didn't even need to point it out. Sorry. I don't really mind. I think I'd get pretty lonely if you stopped depending on me so quickly, so it's okay if you do for a while longer. I thought you just told me I need to stand on my own. Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I was trying a little too hard to show off. She laughed a little at my honest apology. I pulled out the cake and eclairs from the shopping bag and placed them on the table. I'll go get some cups. Go ahead and sit down. She walked off towards the small kitchen while I sat myself down on the carpet and glanced around the room. She had been living with her parents all this time, but starting this summer she would be living alone. The room was full of new furniture, but the reason it felt so warm and familiar was most likely from her smell. It's been a while since I've used the cups for guests. Holding 1 cup in each hand, she walked back over. Huh? I thought she would sit across from me, but for some inexplicable reason, she sat herself right next to me. Though I thought at first that leaning against the bed would be more comfortable, our close proximity in this large room made me nervous. Was I the only one weirdly conscious of this? From her strange silence, she also seemed to be slightly nervous. I wanted her to talk like she always did, but it seemed she didn't feel like it. What was she doing? I'll open this up for us. Pretending I wasn't bothered by anything, I poured the pretty red tea? Okay. From the bottle into our cups. You really like tea, huh? I noticed most girls do. It's so you don't get fat. Tea has less calories and I guess less caffeine as well, so your heart doesn't go insane. Yes, I suppose, but I don't mind coffee either. Again, a short silence. Just when Sorry for making really weird noises when I just stop reading. It's hard to read a lot of text in a short amount of time. Just when I could no longer endure it and tried to find some random topic to bring up, she reached over to her glass. Staring down at the deep red tea, she suddenly spoke. You had a girlfriend during your 2nd year of high school, huh? It was neither phrased as a question nor as a statement, so my tongue was tied for a moment. Traitor, it said. Why? You betrayed her. How dare you? How dare you not date her? Why was it that it sounded like I was being condemned? Because you are. I felt as if a small yet extremely powerful explosive had been thrown at me. I did, but we broke up. In fact, it wasn't just 11th grade, but even before then, I had received quite a few confessions and dated a few people. I had meant to keep it a secret, but she was pretty sharp. Why did you break up? Well, because, we just naturally drifted apart. Naturally drifted? You couldn't contact her even when you were in the same class? You know that my ex is in the same class as me even? I just happened to find out. The one person I didn't want finding out, huh? I thought regretfully in the corner of my mind. I wanted to hide this from her if I could. Did no other girl find out that you're crazy, batshit insane? Why is... Oh my god. Why it was necessary for me to hide it, though, was something I couldn't rationally explain. You started disliking her even though you liked her before? Well, I felt no matter how I responded, her reaction would be terrifying. So I decided to tell her the truth. There was someone else that I liked. That's why we dated for a time, then we broke up. Hearing this, her expression became even steelier. I stepped on another landmine, didn't I? So you went out with her even though you didn't like her? It's not like that. Crap, I might not be able to dodge this one after all. I decided to confess more of the truth. It was still kind of despicable, but it was better than being misunderstood. I don't stand a chance with the person I love the most, but I can't give up on her even though I need to, so in order to forget, I went out with another girl. I told her this at the beginning though. I said that there's actually someone else that I like, but that I'd work hard so that while we were dating, she'd be who I liked the most. But it was impossible. The one I loved the most never changed. I broke up with her before things got too serious. I see. I couldn't fathom what she was thinking as she took a sip of her tea. She looked as if there was a lot she was thinking about, and I was finding each expression cute. It's kind of nice that we can see it from their point of view, but I really wish they had voiced this instead of me having to read it, because now my throat really hurts. I'm terrible, aren't I? Do you hate me? No, I don't. I kind of feel relieved. But I'm a little scared. The hurdles seem high. What are you talking about? Nothing. I was just thinking that I need to try harder. Do you want a boyfriend too? Her eyes went wide as she looked up. Was what I asked that surprising? I had asked her under the pretense of a normal conversation too. I do, but I also like being with you, Toma. With this, she leaped. What is she doing? She leaped into my arm. I felt a momentary lightheadedness from her soft weight. What? Oh, what? Whatever. We really should have gone to a cafe instead. The desire to embrace her was utterly overwhelming. Geez, still at this age? I laughed as if disbelieving of her and reached towards the cake I'd bought. I couldn't let myself be faced by this. Don't deceive yourself. She doesn't think of you like that. Both of you are so fucking stubborn! Come on, let's eat the cake. We went to the trouble of buying it. I placed it gently in front of her and she gave a small nod, sitting back up. I felt infinitely relieved once we were separated. I wonder how much longer we could stay like this. I would have to get stronger before she drifted away, so that when I saw her with another man, my heart wouldn't break. Well, that's it for all of Toma's story. We have one more story to go, and it will all be over. Ugh! See you guys in that story.